there, Booksy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're here to do a little April TBR talk. I have a few books that I want to read or need to read in April. My reading has been really slow in the first 3 months of the year, and now that we're going through the pandemic, it hasn't gotten any faster. But I need to start getting my reading rates, I guess, reading speed. Yeah, I need to get my reading speed up again because otherwise I'm not going to meet the goals that I set for myself for this year. And I know right now there are so many much more important things to be thinking about other than just reading for fun. But I do read for pleasure. I read for education. I read to learn more about the world around me and to have experiences that I couldn't have in my regular life. So I need to read, and I'm going to push myself to read a little bit more than I have been in the past few months. So today I'm going to share with you a few books that are on my TBR for one reason or another. I have a couple of books that I just want to read because they're here. They've been on my TBR shelf and they're really appealing right now. And the first of those books is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Darray. I think is how her name is pronounced. This was a Book of the Month Club. This was my pick in February, and I'd like to read it sooner rather than later. So, or maybe she'll read it to me. So that's the first book that's on my TBR because I'm just gonna read it because I want to. I'm also participating in a book challenge. It's a group that I joined on Facebook, and I had 10 books that I'd selected to read in a 4-month period. That 4-month period ends in April, and I've only read 2 of those 10 books. So I have 8 books that I need to read during the month for that challenge. The first of those books is Idaho by Emily Ruskovich. This was to me the challenge to read a book where the title starts with I, and I could substitute Inland by Tia Obrecht for this one, but I challenge myself to see if I could read my original TBR as opposed to making substitutions. So I'm going to see if I can read this one. Otherwise, I'll substitute it for a book that I've already read within the 4-month period. You're going to hold all the books? Okay. Other books that are on that list: The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. And I chose that one because I wanted to read a book by 2 or more authors. And I'm listening to that right now on audiobook. Other books that I need to read for that challenge include And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini. This was to read a book that had a tree on the cover. And I don't know why I selected this book other than it's been on my TBR for a really long time and I wanted a push to read it. But this kind of also has a tree on the cover. Or is this just flowers? In any case, like I said, I'm trying to read my original TBR. So, And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini is on my TBR for that challenge as well. Other books that I needed to read. I have a post here, so that's why I'm looking for it on my computer. I'm going to be reading Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf by Edward Albee, Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, and I should tell you, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is to me the challenge of reading a book that has one of the 5 W's in the title. Things Fall Apart is a book that's set in Africa. A book that has a female family relative title in the cover. I'm going to be reading Frederick Backman's My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. Read a book that won an Edgar Award. I'm planning to read Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. Read a book that is from a list that's given. So Show Your Book Faves from 2018. And I'm going to be reading Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. And I don't have any of those books, any of those other books in physical format. I'm reading e-copies from my library. Then I'm going to be starting my nonfiction reading for the BookTube Prize. I'm planning to read 3 of the books this month. Underlined by Robert McFarlane. Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lisa Gottlieb. And one more. Maybe Parkland. Or no, I think the other one that I'm going to read is Ibram Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist. So I'm planning to read 3 nonfiction reads in April as well. I'm also wanting to participate in Aussie April just because Doris from Aldi Books and Jacqueline from 6 Minutes From Me host this readathon in April, and I think I'd like to read more books from around the world. And without this, well, last year I read quite a bit that I probably wouldn't have read otherwise, other than me participating in the readathon. So I have a couple of books here that will check a couple of boxes. I have 2 books by Peter Carey, True History of the Kelly Gang and Oscar and Lucinda. Peter Carey won the Booker Prize with both of these books, and he's an Australian writer. So reading these books will help me to advance my Booker reading challenge, as well as read a couple of books that are from Australia. However, I would like to read a book that is by an Australian First Nations writer, but I don't have anything right now, so I'm going to be looking for something to add to my TBR to fulfill that prompt. And those are the books that I have my sights set on right now. Other than that, I have these 2 books from the publisher that I need to read and review in April. This one is My Name is Tanny and I Believe in Miracles. This is about a child chess champion prodigy who came from his native Nigeria, I think it is, as a refugee, fleeing Boko Haram with his parents. And then we have It's Not Over by Joshua Gagnon. This is Leaving Behind Disappointment and Learning to Dream Again. So I'm going to be reading these to review for the publishers, as well as all the other books that I just told you about. So those are my April reading plans, other than, of course, all the books that I'm going to be reading with this little one. Yeah, so I'd love to hear what you're reading in April. What's the book that you're probably most excited to get to this month? And I know we're almost at the middle of April already, but would still like to chat with you about your April reading. Or, you know, if you want to talk about one of these books, maybe you've read them before and you'd like to give me a heads up, I'd love to chat with you in the comments. So let's talk down there. And until next time, happy reading. Bye. Say bye. Say bye.